Welcome back. I am unapologetically Eric. You can follow me on X at Eric Not Sorry or on Facebook at Unapologetically Eric. So, this past week was the debate between Trump and Kamala Harris. Kamala, I don't know. I have no respect for her, so I don't give a shit. But so I want to get into the debate, and if this is the first time you've ever listened to me, I try to be open and honest about pretty much everything. And yes, I like Trump. I like his policies, which is how I base who I'm going to be voting for anything, local, federal, doesn't matter. I look at policies, what matters to me, which is what we all should do. I don't care if I'm voting for somebody who's an asshole or a dick, but if they support the policies I like, then okay, cool. You got my vote. But I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I possibly can. So, this debate took place on September 10th on ABC, which is not exactly a far-right news outlet. So, as far as Trump and Harris, Harris, in my opinion, did better than expected. Before the debate, if you watched her kind of quote-unquote go off script, because she has done speeches, and when she's reading off of a teleprompter or something that is, pre-prepared, she's pretty on. She's on. When she goes unscripted and tries to go off the cuff, she tends to ramble or laugh like a hyena or, she word salads. And a lot of people, myself included, expected her to word salad quite a bit. She didn't do that. And her laughing, she didn't do her stereotypical she didn't do that. She chuckled a couple times, but that laughing weird thing she does, she did not do that. And again, she was definitely appeared prepared, and she did not word salad. So I'll give her credit for that. I got to give credit where credit's due. She didn't go up there and completely fumble and fall on her face. Donald Trump was a little more emotional than, say, his debate with Biden. When he debated Biden, he was more, reserved. He was more, as some would say, political or presidential. Against Harris, she did get under his skin. I think the moderators, especially the guy, I don't remember his name, like Muir or something like that. I can't remember. They got under his skin a little bit, and he got, some people would say he got mad or angry. And I have to agree. He definitely got a little more animated than he did against Biden. Some say that was a bad thing. Some say it was a good thing. In my opinion, it depended on the moment. In that moment that he got a little more animated. Sometimes I think it may have hurt him, but in other times I think it helped. And I'll get into that in a little while. Before I actually go any further, when it comes to a debate, especially this year's, this debate specifically, not a lot of people in our country are undecided. I mean, obviously there is a percentage of the population that truly doesn't know who they want to vote for. And some of that does come down to, I'm not sure where they stand on things. In my opinion, a majority of that is, I don't like either one of these fucking idiots. God, I have to, I'm going to vote for, damn it. So I think, in my opinion, the most undecideds for this year's presidential election, it's kind of the I don't know which schmuck I want to vote for. But the majority of people that are either in the know or more in tune with politics, they pretty much know who they're voting for. A debate, I don't care if Harris and Trump had 200 debates. You're not going to flip the people that are yay Trump or yay Harris. Nobody's going to change their mind. I find debates to be kind of silly, but that's just me, especially in the day and age we have now with, internet. You can look up speeches. You can watch speeches. Speeches are streamed. You can do all that. 25 years ago, yeah, you have to watch the debate because otherwise you're just relying on the news media, the newspaper or television. Now you got social media. You have streaming services where, like I said, they stream speeches and shit. So you can kind of be a little more in the know than what you could years ago. But for, like I said, their demeanor, she seemed a little more presidential, she cracked a couple of times, but overall she had a very straight demeanor, didn't word salad, didn't laugh like a hyena. Trump got a little animated and upset at times. So, okay, I'm not giving points here, I'm not scoring, this is what I heard. Because I did not watch it because I go to bed fucking early. I have to work. So I listened to it via listening to Timcast IRL. I know another free plug for them. But I listened to them, and Tim and some other people were on, the normal crowd. And, of course, they were throwing their 2 cents in and fact-checking as well. I like their input. But that's how I heard the debate. Some other things I have here. As far as the moderators, I think they blew big baby chunks. They sucked. They would fact-check Trump, which, okay, good. Good. I want live fact-checking. But I don't remember them fact-checking Harris, at all. Maybe they did once. I honestly, I don't remember because it was so seldom. And there were some things that she said where I was like, the fuck? That's wrong. No, that's wrong too. No, that's wrong too. And nobody called her out on it. And so, yeah, ABC's moderators, they sucked. They genuinely, in my opinion, sucked. Now, of course, go and watch it for yourself or go and listen to it for yourself. This is just my interpretation of what I heard. Trump and Harris have been out there doing speeches and whatnot for a while before the debate. And one critique I heard regarding Harris was a lot of her speeches are pretty much the same. So if she goes to Atlanta and gives a speech, and then she goes to, L.A., it's pretty much the same speech. To which I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it's a pre-written speech. Well, yeah, of course. And Trump has been out there doing the same, and I haven't sat back and listened to either of them, to be honest. Little sound bites and clips here and there. One that's really, really funny regarding Harris, but I'll get into that in a minute. And I know that Trump has been giving speeches, and I'm sure most of them are pretty much the same. I want to do this, and I want to do this. And then he moves on to the next state, and it's, I want to do this, and I want to do this. So, again, you're just out there pumping yourself up, pumping up your campaign, bringing attention to yourself. So, again, I don't know if many of Trump's speeches are basically repeats. Honestly, I don't know. One thing about Harris's speeches that is really funny, and there's a lot of sound bites out there about this, is she changes her accent. Now, I know this doesn't have anything to do with the debate, but it's just something I'm throwing out there. Like, she was in, I don't remember, we'll say it was South Carolina. I don't remember. It might be in North Carolina. I don't know. And she was up there saying, you better thank a union worker for vacation time. You better thank a union worker for, whatever. And then she's in Detroit, and people are like, what the fuck? Because she's up there like, you better thank union worker for vacation time. And everybody's like, what the fuck happened with her voice? Like, who is this person? I thought that was really fucking weird. I'm like, pandering much? But anyways, but regarding the two of them giving their speeches before this, in my opinion, again, they're asked a question, and if you haven't watched any of their speeches or sound bites, then it's new to you. I have heard little clips here and there over the months, so nothing was new to me. I was like, yep, heard that before. Yeah, heard that before. So if you haven't been in tune with politics, then watch it. One thing that did kind of annoy me, which they did not do during the Biden-Trump one, was if Trump was asked a question about A, Biden was also asked the question about A. And maybe Trump would be able to rebut, but it was both candidates got the same question. This one was a little weird because, Harris would be asked a question, and then sometimes Trump would be asked the same question. But then there were times where one would be asked a question, and then they would want to change the question. They would ask a different one when they would switch. And I'm like, what? I want to hear what they have to say. And I will give credit to both of them because there were times where when the moderators would want to do that, they would be like, I would like to respond to that too. Or I have something else to say. One thing that I took from both of them, which it doesn't surprise me at all. It genuinely doesn't, because it's politics, is someone would be asked a question and then they're given, we'll say, 90 seconds. And when the moderator was like, your time is up, I'm going, they didn't answer the question. They didn't answer the question. So it's like if they were asked, what is your favorite topping for pizza? And then they start talking about, a family trip to the beach. It's like, what? What? What is your favorite pizza topping? What are you talking about? The fucking surf at the beach? I don't give a shit. This makes no sense. They both did that. And I find that fucking annoying. Just answer the damn question. Please. I don't care about all this other bullshit. I don't care. But in the end, for me, I learned nothing new from either one of them because, again, I listen to politics and shit a lot. It's what happened afterwards that has really irritated a lot of people and surprised some people. So after the debate, CNN was doing a live thing where they were asking people that were undecideds. They were asking them, like, what was your opinion? What did you learn? La, 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 la. And CNN was not alone, but they did do it. And there were some videos I saw that were hilarious because there was a couple of women. I don't know their names or anything, but ultimately they were both like, I don't know what she stands for. Like, I don't know what her policies are. Now, that is one of the things that I have brought up, and I'm not alone, is before this debate, I think it was like the last week or something, up until then, the Harris website had 0 policies listed. Nothing. You had no idea what is her policies on anything. And I covered this regarding what is her policies. I think it was in the episode Kamala Harris Sucks. Give it a listen. But two of the big things that I knew regarding her was she's pro-abortion and she's anti-gun. Beyond that, it's like, well, what is your policy stance on fucking anything? And literally less than 60 days, 2 months, less than 2 months before the election, her policies are finally on her website. None of which were hit at the debate. Nothing, really. And anybody that is in the know regarding politics is her policies listed on her website are pretty much Joe Biden's policies. that's gone well for everybody in this country for the last 3.5 years, right? Yeah, life is fantastic. No, it's a little bit of sarcasm, just a little. So a lot of the people, not a lot, the videos I saw of people being asked, like, okay, so how do you feel after this? Most of them are like, I didn't learn anything regarding her policies. I don't know where she stands on anything. I don't know where she stands on the economy. I don't know what she wants to do to improve the economy. Because I don't care pretty much any political stuff that's out there. The bottom line comes down to an old phrase of, it's the economy, stupid. So yes, the crime is high on people's minds. You know, abortion's always out there. Gun rights are always out there. But number one, right, especially now, is the economy. The economy sucks. They've been gaslighting us all for 3+ years. And when you go to the grocery store and what used to cost you $100 is now $180, you're going, bro, I can't afford this shit. You know, gas is off the charts. And these independent voters are like, I don't know anything about what she wants to do to help the economy. So they're not wrong. She didn't get into that shit. She did talk about more spending. That's a shocker. And Trump did get into what he wants to do for the economy. I'm not going to sit here and list it all off because really nothing has changed. He wants to bring manufacturing back to the country, which is usually it's like tax incentives. Also reducing regulations because oftentimes regulations absolutely just choke the shit out of an industry. He wants to drill for oil. He wants to drill for gas, fracking, so on and so forth. He wants to create jobs with that and also become more energy independent again. He didn't bang really hard on that, giggity. I feel he should have really hit hard on that, but he did talk about it. And in the past, she has talked about not liking fracking and banning drilling for oil. Again, Biden policies. And she has flip-flopped on it. But I don't think Trump beat her over the head regarding that. I think, again, he got angry. And in a way, I kind of like that at times because I'm angry, as most of us are, on both sides of the aisle. We can all sit and argue regarding pick a topic. Pick a friggin' topic. But at the end of the day, one thing that all of us can agree on is shit is expensive. And what did we learn at the debate? She's got no plan on how to change it or improve it for anybody. Trump does. Whether you agree with him or not, he talked about it. Whether you think it will work or not, he talked about it. She didn't. So at the end of it, it was there was closing statements, and some people didn't like the way Trump went about it. I did, because again he tapped into being angry. Because again, I've just said we're all angry. A lot of us are, anyways. I know I am one, and he hit her regarding, you're going to make all these changes, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. You're in office now. You've had 3.5 years to do it. Why haven't you? Why haven't you done it yet? And he's got a big point. And for the people that go, well, she's not president, it doesn't matter. She's vice president. She's in the White House, and she has the power to do things. She has been the deciding vote in the believe it, in the House on, I want to say 33 or 31 different bills, and none of them have improved things for any of us. So she's been a deciding factor. She has power, and she has done nothing to help any of us. So some of the things I also saw afterwards were some of the lies. Oh, there was also some lies regarding the fact checkers. One of them came up regarding abortion. And Trump was talking about how there are states that allow abortion up to the point of birth and even after. He was like, they're killing the babies. I don't know how often that happens. I don't know. There was a governor or whatever a few years ago that was talking about, the woman would give birth, they would make the baby comfortable, and then her and her doctor would discuss what to do next. Interesting. I want to say his name was Northam, something like that. Look it up. But Trump was fact-checked on this by ABC, and they said, no, that's not happening. Now, again, maybe they were talking about babies were being born and then killed. I doubt that happens. Okay, seriously, I highly doubt that happens. However, Trump was not completely wrong on this because there are 8 states, 8 of them, that allow for abortion right up to the moment of birth. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole abortion debate. I have my opinions on it, but it doesn't matter. I'm not getting into it. But abortion up until, the 9th month. I know many people that are even pro-choice that go, that's a little kind of too far. Like, a lot too far. Again, how often does that happen? I don't know. And I know some people have argued and even said to me, well, how often does that really happen? In my opinion, I don't know. But it's on the books. It's a law in 8 states. So it doesn't matter to me, how often it does happen. What matters to me is the fact that it can. That's pretty fucked up. That's kind of fucked up. I'm not Mr. Pro-lifer out here. I'm not, Bible thumping, praying outside of clinics. That's not me. But being able to legally in some states have an abortion at like 8.5 months of pregnancy, that's kind of a bit much. But they fact-checked Trump and said, no, that's not true. You're wrong. No, ABC, you're fucking wrong. Some of the lies that let me take a step back. When it comes to lies, because even during the Trump-Biden one, I had a conversation with my mom. She watches CNN. The first thing I say is turn that shit off. CNN sucks. Fox sucks. They all suck. They're all garbage and they're all liars. But she's like, oh, he told so many lies. He told like 34 lies. I'm like, yeah, CNN told you that, right? I'm like, what lies did he say? And she couldn't answer me. I'm like, stop being a fucking parrot. Now, when it comes to quote-unquote lies, this is where you need to take a step back and go, well, what did they specifically lie about? Because if Donald Trump, we all know he loves McDonald's, right? Well, if Donald Trump said, on Monday, I went out and I bought a Big Mac and small fry, somebody could fact check him and say, you're wrong. You did that on Tuesday. That's a lie. He lied. He didn't get a Big Mac and small fries on Monday. He did it on Tuesday. That is some of the shit, some of the shady shit that these news outlets and so on and so forth will do. If Donald Trump says, under me, gas prices were $1.70, they'll fact check and say, actually, no, they were $1.85. That's a lie. Missing the point completely that gas prices were much lower under Donald Trump. So, did he lie? Well, we're splitting fucking hairs. If he says that, the debt was, whatever, and then he's off by $1 million or $2 million, well, that's a lie. See, he lied again. This is shady bullshit. Some of the things, like one of the things he said was regarding Springfield, Ohio. If you have Twitter or X, You've seen some of the stuff that's going on in Ohio regarding the Haitians that have been relocated there. Some people are saying that they're eating pets. They're eating cats. I don't know if that's genuinely happening. However, they are getting ducks and geese from, like, the local ponds. Federally protected animals on federally protected lands, and that's what they're doing, and they're cooking them and eating them. Okay, Trump's like, they're eating your pets. Okay, somebody could fact check that and say, well, that's not happening. And that's one thing ABC did do that, I guess, from Ohio. There was like a local town leader or some shit is like, that's not happening here. And it's like, but there's interviews with the locals that live there saying that it is happening. So who are you going to believe? So that, to me, was another fact check ABC did that was kind of a, go fuck yourself, ABC. But they never, ever corrected Harris when she said Donald Trump's Project 2025. That's a fucking lie. Project 2025 is the boogeyman people have been talking about. Project 2025 was written by the Heritage Foundation in 2022 and published in 2023. It has no correlation with Donald Trump or his candidacy. There are people that were part of his I don't know, 2020s candidacy, run. Some of his people were associated with this, but not him. And he has distanced himself from that, saying that's not my policy. He's repeatedly done this, but yet the Democrats keep beating the Project 2025 thing. I have read excerpts from it, and some of it's not terrible. Some of it's kind of logical. Some is a little crazy, but okay. But he has distanced himself from that is not his policy. Kamala Harris said it, and nobody called her out on it. She also brought up the quote of the very fine people lie, which has been debunked hundreds of times over. Even Snopes, who again, Snopes is not exactly a far-right extremist website, even Snopes has said that the very fine people quote has been taken out of context and is a lie. That stems from a protest, I want to say in 2017 in Charlottesville, where I believe somebody drove a car into a crowd and killed somebody. I don't remember all the details, and I didn't look it up because I don't care. Because, again, I knew this line was bullshit. There was white supremacists there. There was a protest. There was people, and then they got into it. There was multiple sides here. The lie is Trump said that there were some very fine people on both sides regarding whatever protest or whatever it was. But in regards to the white supremacists and the neo-Nazis, he is quoted several times over that white supremacy and neo-Nazis should be condemned totally. He did not say that white supremacists and neo-Nazis were very fine people. The actor Michael Rappaport, huge lefty person, fell for that lie. You can watch an interview with him. He was on a podcast with, I believe, Patrick Bet-David, where he admits he bought that lie because PBD showed him the proof, or they were talking about it. I can't remember. It's been a minute. And Michael Rappaport was like, yeah, I fell for that. I fell for that shit. I can't believe I fell for it. It's a fucking lie. So she was not fact-check on that. She also talked about bloodbath. Donald Trump was talking about the auto industry when he made the comment. The quote was, "It's going to be a bloodbath for our country." That was in regards to losing the auto industry manufacturing jobs to foreign countries. What it would do to the auto industry. It was nothing to do with political violence. That didn't stop the Biden campaign from running with it as political violence. and Harris bringing it up at the debate. ABC did not fact check her. They did not call her out on that. It's a fucking lie. Shocker. She also said that on January 6th, I know, January 6th, worst day in history, I guess, something, whatever. She talked about officers dying. That is a fucking lie. There was one person that died during January 6th, and her name was Ashley Babbitt. She was murdered by a Capitol Police officer who has never been held accountable for that. She was a veteran. She was trying to prevent people from getting into the Capitol through a broken window. She was a good guy, and she was shot and killed, and nobody has been held accountable. The next day, however, there was I didn't look it up, but I'm a little fuzzy on the details. There was a Capitol Police officer on January 7th that did pass away. I believe it was either a heart attack or a stroke. It had nothing directly to do with J6 or a protester. Maybe his health was affected by stress. It happens. I get it. But he did not die on January 6th. That's a fucking lie. Nobody fact-checked her. Bullshit. Again. Harris also said that there was no active duty U.S. military in active war zones. What? What? Is she high? No, wait. She's a drunk. Okay. Again, nobody fact-checked her on this. I know that's bullshit. We all know that's bullshit because we've got military all over the fucking world. But they're not in any active war zone. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Okay, we don't have active military invading Russia from Ukraine. Okay, sure, but that was not the statement. We don't have active military, fighting for Hamas or Israel, right? Okay, she didn't say that, but if it was said, that would be an accurate statement. But that's not what it was, and she's a fucking liar. Ukraine and Russia did come up. Israel, Gaza, of course, that came up. I don't remember her saying anything about how she would be dealing with any of that. She talked about, Israel is an ally, need to help support them, but we also need a two-state solution. I'm thinking, okay, that's great when you're standing in the United States. You don't live over there. The shit that's going on in the Middle East is nothing new. People have hated each other and slaughtered each other for thousands of years. So standing over here on the United States soil, making comments and statements, doesn't mean shit. I don't care who you are, whether Trump said it or Harris. It doesn't matter. How they asked Trump, you have stated that within 24 hours you would resolve Russia and Ukraine. How would you do that? Now, I know, and even I have said it, and I'm not alone. There's no way he's going to do it in 24 hours. But he said that even before, while he was president-elect, he would get both of them on the phone and tell them, we need to get to the table. We need to sit down. This is crazy. This is insane. It's been going on long enough. He stated, millions of people have died. I think that's one of the quote-unquote lies they said that he said. It hasn't been millions of people. It's like, okay, hundreds of thousands of people are dead. That's still a lot of fucking dead people. Devastated families, devastated countries. Okay. We're splitting fucking hairs here. But he's like, I want the dying to stop. I would get them on the phone because we're on the verge of World War III. And I don't think that's hyperbolic. It's scary what's going on. So I think that, or I believe that's what he said. We get them on the phone and we got to sit down and we got to sort this shit out because it's gone on long enough. It's insane. Some of the things Harris did say was that she wants to give money, more money. I can't remember the number, so don't quote me on this. I think it was $25,000. But again, don't quote me. Don't quote me, but she did state she wants to give a decent amount of money to people that are first-time homebuyers. She also stated she wants to give money for people that to start up small businesses, and then money for this and money for that. And my first thought, and I was not alone, because one of those independent voters, not independent, undecided voters that I mentioned earlier brought this up. And she said, oh, this and that, money for first-time home buyers and small businesses. Where is that coming from? This is what this lady asked, and she read my mind. Where is this money coming from? And she was like, oh, so we can give out more money to just jack up inflation? So the value of the dollar will go down. So how are you going to pay for this? How? You're gonna cut taxes, but you're going to give away money. How? How does that work? How is that? That'll screw the economy even more. I'm like, you rock on, lady, because you're right. And then what the same lady goes, she mentioned she wants to have an opportunity economy. She's like, what does that even mean? I'm like, yeah, I have no idea either. What is an opportunity economy? You have money to create a business. Well, that's an opportunity. What the fuck is she talking about? Now, I know some of you are going, well, gee, Eric, you seem to be pounding on Harris a little bit. Yeah, so did Willie Brown. Well, because the stuff that Trump said, I've heard before. As I stated earlier, drilling for oil, drilling for gas, fracking, bringing businesses home, reducing taxes, reducing regulations to help push jobs in manufacturing, bring it all home, build the wall, tougher on the border, deportations. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. What you have heard Trump say over the last, since 2016, really none of it has changed. Really none of it has changed. So I'm beating up on Harris a little bit because, again, her policies are the same shit that's going on now, and things are just going swimmingly. And then she's talking about giving away more money. Trump wants to bring in money and via jobs, not higher taxes. Now, one of the other things that has happened in recent days, or actually before the debate, Trump months ago, I don't remember what month, I'll say July, I'll pull a month out of my ass. Trump said that he wanted to get rid of taxes on tips, which would help a lot of, services, waiters, waitstaff, right? Waiters, waitresses, whatever the PC term is nowadays, which I wouldn't fucking use anyway. But I'm like, okay, that's a good thing. Sure. If you're tipped $10, you should take that $10 and put it in your pocket. You earn that extra $10. You shouldn't pay taxes on that. He got beat up on it. Everybody laughed at him. That's stupid. Or he's pandering. Or they ragged on Trump for saying that. And then literally 5 minutes ago, Harris was like, I'm going to get rid of taxes on tips. It's like, I think I've heard that somewhere before. What a brilliant idea. So Trump says it, he's a schmuck. She says it, she's brilliant. Yeah, fucking brilliant. Trump for years has talked about getting tough on the border, building the border wall. He's a racist. He's a xenophobe. Literally, like last month, Harris is like, we're going to build the wall. Oh, she's so great. What a fantastic idea. To which, again, I refer back to what Trump said and what other people have said, including myself. Why haven't you done it now? You're in office now. You are in power now. Why? What are you doing? Why wait? The money was already allocated years ago. What are you doing? Another thing that has happened. Now, again, I read this on the internet, so I know it's totally right. But apparently, because some people, typical anti-Harris people, were during the debate, were live tweeting, stating that it seems like she got the questions ahead of time, which ABC stated neither one of them were given the questions. Now, if I was in either of their. If I was running for president, I would already kind of have a hunch on what questions are going to come at me, so I could prepare for those. Because I'm not a moron, so I would already know kind of what's coming at me. But some people were questioning whether she got them ahead of time because she was pretty quick to answer. Again, she did not word salad. Now, again, I read this on the internet. Apparently, supposedly, there is a person that works at ABC that is going to be a whistleblower and signing an affidavit. Again, this is read it on the internet, that they did give Kamala Harris the questions ahead of time. Whether it's true or not, I'm holding my hands up in the air. I don't know. I'm just relaying it. Whether it's true, whether it's internet bullshit, I don't know. But one thing that Donald Trump has come out and said is he is now going to eliminate taxes on overtime. Winning, because I put in overtime. I know a lot of people that put in overtime, and I would like to have my money, please, and stop giving it to the fucking government, because that's my motherfucking money. I put in those hours, bitch. That's my motherfucking money. And, of course, there's some people out there that are like, well, I can understand doing that, but only up to an income of fuck you, dude. I don't care if somebody makes $50,000 a year or $350,000 a year. If you're putting in overtime, that is on your time. You could be home spending it with your wife, your husband, your kids, your neighbors, your friends, sitting at home by yourself, naked playing Xbox. Who the fuck cares? That's your time. You put in the time at work doing what's required of you, and then you go home. But again, I don't care how much you make. I don't care if you're making $10 an hour or $70 an hour. You did what was required. You went home. You're working overtime. That's your time now. You're willing to stay late, whether to line your pockets or to help out the company or get a project done or whatever the fuck it is. I don't care what it is. That's your time. You are now getting paid time and a half because you are now working on what is essentially your time. And Donald Trump wants to nix the tax on that, at least federally. I mean, states and whatnot, they do their thing. But winning, I'm okay with that. So I'm curious what Harris is gonna do regarding that. But I think that's pretty good in my opinion. So again, I know I've rambled on about different things in this episode, but overall, the debate was kind of a shit show. Harris did do better than expected. No word salads, no hyena laughing. Trump did get animated. But yeah, I think overall it was an epic shit show. I hope there's not another one, at least not on ABC, because they sucked. They sucked hard cock, real hot cock. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. Hard cock, gotta wrap it up. So once again, thank you for listening. I hope y'all laughed on that. But seriously, thank you for listening. Again, if you want to follow me, I am on X at Eric Not Sorry. And on Facebook, Fascist Book is what I prefer to call it, at Unapologetically Eric. Thank you for listening. I have other episodes. Please check them out. And until next time, keep being you.